let's dig into the origins of the Werewolf by Night comic book series, which provided the programs with its characters, dark plots, and more. You might not finish your research once you start exploring the show's relationship to the comics. Here are 11 things you need to know before watching MCU's Werewolf by Night. Number 1. Censorship delayed the single Werewolf series. Even though it may be difficult to picture a world without Marvel's extensive roster of superheroes, the studio formerly had entirely different genre objectives. Publisher Martin Goodman established Atlas Comics, a distributor of comic books, in the 1950s, while working with editors like Stan Lee. By 1953, Lee was Atlas's editor-in-chief, and over 25% of the publisher's offerings were horror fiction. This same year, a 5-page one-shot titled Werewolf by Night debuted in Marvel Tales number 116. Then, things become challenging. A book, Seduction of the Innocent, was published. Out of concern for how this moral crusade, which resulted in moral outrage, would harm Atlas's financial situation, politicians and law enforcement officials had to be respected as well. These regulations, as you may imagine, made it simpler to print superhero tales that demonized chaos agents like Loki than to develop challenging stories about true corruption. Number 2. The 1970s brought even more oddities. The CCA finally decided during the 1970s that vampires, werewolves, and other creatures might feature in comics as long as they were depicted conventionally. Why does the werewolf we first encounter in issue number 2 of Marvel Spotlight from 1972 sound like a line from a Universal horror movie? Why do we never see any bloodshed even though he kills someone in every issue? He had to be that way. His conflict is only his terrible infliction in the 2 following issues. However, the popularity of his works provided a platform for now iconic Marvel figures like Spider-Woman, Moon Knight, Ghost Rider, and Son of Satan. I'm prepared to wager that the MCU's appearance will be as bloodless as based on the Werewolf by Night trailer, as it already appears to be leaning into Victorian and Gothic vibes. Number 3. Who exactly is Jack Russell? The first time we encountered the Werewolf by Night in Atlas's pages, the Wolfman was less of a fully developed human being and more of a crude beast, and Jack Russell was introduced sometime later. The forthcoming Halloween special will star the persistent Jack Russell. Although there have only ever been 2 Wolfmen in Marvel Comics, he's blonde, athletic, and resides in a mansion with a stepfather who appears to be organizing the killing of his mother. The night before Jack reaches 18 years old, he transforms into a werewolf. He keeps his identity secret. He confesses to his dying mother, who then reveals that he is descended from lycanthropes. Russell's ancestor received a curse from Dracula long ago. When Jack's grandfather interacts with the Darkhold, the curse is put to rest and then reawakens. Number 4. Jack's difficult relationship with Moon Knight. In Werewolf by Night number 32, Moon Knight made his Marvel Comics debut as a morally dubious assassin, on the prowl for Jack in exchange for a $10,000 reward. Instead of killing each other, the pair team up to overthrow the committee. After that incident, the couple's situation rarely gets better. The two occasionally work together to confront a rising threat, but they frequently end up fighting each other instead. But because he once assisted Moon Knight in killing his adversary, Belial, he also refers to him as a brother in battle. It makes sense that there have been a lot of discussions online regarding whether or not the upcoming MCU Halloween special will have a Moon Knight crossover. It currently looks doubtful based only on what Werewolf by Night director Michael Giacchino has said. There are no immediate plans for a crossover, according to Giacchino, who spoke to ET Canada. Number 5. Jack is tied to the Darkhold. The Darkhold has nothing nice involved with it, and Jack is sadly one of the few Marvel characters who are unwilling to participate, but fate destined him to be forever associated with the evil book. We discover that Jack's grandpa built a replica of the Darkhold out of a collection of antiquated scrolls in the 1972 Werewolf by Night series. His writing of the book somehow permanently altered his family's history. How? While maniacally evil cults, animals, mystics, and physicians repeatedly kidnap Jack to teach him, Jack never really learns. They frequently follow the same strategy: drain Jack's blood to get access to the Darkhold's abilities. The fact that Jack received the book from his late father increases the possibility that he may have to fight either monsters from it or those seeking it. He will battle formidable foes like Brain Eaters, Switchblade, and the sorcerer Morgan Le Fay because of this wicked grimoire. Number 6. Enemies and allies. Despite spending time with supernatural creatures, Jack has a few close friends who are also humans. Buck Cowan, an investigative journalist drawn to the enigmatic and action-packed world of the Werewolf by Night, is Jack's first friend in the comics. He also has a great deal of love for his sister, Lissa, who overcame her curse even though her daughter Nina still carries it today. He even made up with Elsa Bloodstone, the renowned monster hunter from Marvel. While Jack may have a link to Darkhold through his werewolf side, he typically fights alongside people who oppose the spread of evil that Darkhold is capable of. Since he is aware of what occurs when power is not restrained, Jack generally behaves in a pretty humane manner. The one-shot comic Crypt of Shadows, an anthology written from the perspective of Doctor Strange's vampire brother, Victor Strange. Number 7. The Bloodstone clan started going on monster hunts. You need need to travel way back in time to fully understand who the Bloodstone family is in Marvel Comics. A hunter discovered a fascinating grotto close to his tribe in the year 8250 BC. The hunter was given strength by an extraterrestrial figure who also requested that he lead his tribe into the cavern. Sadly, the ritual was unsuccessful, and the hunter's entire tribe perished. The hunter, nevertheless, jumped on the jewel, breaking it. His sternum became home to a piece of the jewel that gave him immortality. Ulluxul let out monsters to assault the immortal man for millennia. He was thus able to form his family as the top monster hunting family in Marvel. Through his mercenary activities, Ulysses rose to prominence and battled foes including Dracula, the Mummy, and others. Ulysses was exceedingly ruthless though, as a result of becoming the best monster hunter in the world. Number 8. Elsa Bloodstone struck a deal. Elsa Bloodstone is a fearsome monster hunter with the ability to regenerate, a bloodstone gem choker, and blood that can harm vampires. The Vampire Slayer was first introduced in issue number 1 of Bloodstone by Dan Abnett, Andy Lanning, and Michael Lopez. Later runs went into further detail about how her father had cruelly trained her for monster hunting. Because of that, Elsa believed that all monsters are evil. She discovers that there are creatures that prevent the destruction of Earth as she explores deeper into the mystical realms of the Marvel Universe. Similarly, after working with a vampire while on the Legion of Monsters team, she has a different perspective on them. Elsa, her half-brother Cullen, and their sister Lyra join forces in Death of Doctor Strange, Bloodstone, to bring the cosmos back into balance. Number 9. Man-Thing is in the trailer. The scientist-turned-vegetable creature, Man-Thing, made his debut in 1971's Savage Tales #1. He was created by Stan Lee, Steve Gerber, Roy Thomas, Gary Conway, and Gray Morrow. After an attempt to make him into a super soldier goes awry, Dr. Ted Sallis becomes the unbreakable Man-Thing. Why did Man-Thing appear in the Werewolf by Night MCU trailer? It's probably because of his involvement with the Midnight Suns Alliance in Doctor Strange Damnation, which released Doctor Strange from Mephisto's control in 2018. Elsa Bloodstone, Spider-Man, Wong, and Blade are also members of that edition of the Midnight Sun Squad. Whether or not any of these team members will appear in the upcoming Black and White special is unknown, but it's safe to say that his arrival a lot of potential connecting storylines to Wong's current journey in She-Hulk Attorney at Law, as well as Elsa's and Blade's upcoming MCU debuts. Number 10. Where does Blake come into all of this? Jack Russell is joined by the trio of Blake, Frank, and King, while he is a member of the Midnight Suns. Additionally, Blade and Elsa Bloodstone have collaborated frequently. It seems necessary for Blade to appear given the upcoming Blade feature picture and the special's emphasis on monster hunting. There is speculation that Ali's Blade's scheduled appearance in Werewolf by Night was cancelled because of scheduling issues, but Marvel Studios hasn't confirmed this, so who knows? The vampire-human hybrid may yet appear, or there may be a tantalizing end credit scene hinting at what the creature has been up to, since the multiverse exposed the MCU to unexpected horrors. Number 11. What connection does the show have to the MCU? This squad includes Jack Russell, Wong, Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider, Man-Thing, Elsa Bloodstone, Morbius, Spider-Man, and Blade. Elsa even engaged in combat with the villainous Scarlet Witch, who, let's face it, has gained enough strength in the MCU to avoid being killed by an unexpected avalanche after Multiverse of Madness. These people all have intriguing and complex tales to tell about overcoming terrible creatures and dark arts. We won't likely see the whole team anytime soon though. Keep in mind that Marvel Studios built up its Avengers team through a series of standalone movies beginning in 2008 and connecting them all only in 2012. Remember the continuing discussions between Sony Pictures and Marvel Studios concerning who owns the rights to Spider-Man? Marvel is known for its scary comics. Keep in mind how awesome it would be if Marvel continued the creepy mayhem. We would love to see it. Are you planning to binge MCU's Werewolf by Tonight? What character do you think will be your favorite? Make sure to let us know your thoughts down below, and thanks for watching.